A 7th signature sneaker and a lifetime deal. Dwayne Wade right now is totally killing it. Hey, what's good guys? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com. Today we got a first impression on the Way of Wade 7. Dwayne Wade is currently on a China tour right now, and on that China tour, not only did he debut or unveil the Wade 7 overseas, but like we said earlier, the dude just signed a lifetime contract with his own Wade brand, the offshoot of Li-Ning. Pricing currently is unknown, at least for the US customers. I don't know if they unveiled the price overseas in China, but whatever it is over there, it's likely not going to be the same price here. And the tech specs are currently unknown as well. So what we're gonna do is just kind of take a look at what we see, speculate a little bit, and take it from there. So the first thing I actually want to talk about is the overall aesthetics. Normally we leave aesthetics out of it, or we'll kind of bring it up last just as a, hey, how do you think that these look? But the WOW 7 is slightly jarring upon its first impression because it doesn't look like anything else on the market right now. And that's a great thing. It mixes the materials up a little bit, which is awesome. The shoe reminds me a little bit of Wade's first signature sneaker with Converse, as well as the Air Jordan 2010, which was the first model that Wade was able to really push with Jordan Brand when he had signed with them. So to me, it kind of looks a little bit like that. I know a lot of commenters are saying that it looks a lot like the Harden Volume 1. Unfortunately for you guys, the Harden Volume 1 looks like the shoes that I just mentioned, and those came way before it. But like I said, the overall look, it's almost a little jarring just because it's not like the typical one-piece knit, you know what I mean? It doesn't look like a sock shoe. It looks pretty awesome. I don't know if I would wear them off court necessarily, mostly because of the logo placement. It's right smack dab on the top of the toe. It's kind of a weird spot for it, but at least they're doing something different, and that's the thing that I really like. It's not the same old, you know what I mean? At least they're trying to really push things from a visual perspective. Now, performance wise, again, we don't know the exact official tech specs, so we're just going to speculate here a little bit. The Wade 6 was awesome. It featured 3 of Li-Ning's foam systems, one of which was brand new, which was the Drive foam, and that stuff was awesome. That stuff was actually created by the same company that created Boost. What we're hoping for is that we have heel and forefoot Drive foam, because that would be really, really cool, really comfortable. However, if they still feature the same exact setup as the Wade 6, we're not going to be complaining. They use bounce cushion. At least I'm pretty sure it was bounce cushion. It's either bounce cushion or cushion. Kind of weird names for both of them, but pretty sure it was bounce. And they used a cloud foam carrier. So the cloud foam was a lightweight foam, but it's kind of dense at the same time. And then the interior portions, the different densities that you'd see in the heel and forefoot, were the softer stuff for more responsiveness and impact protection. So that's what we're assuming that these guys are going to have. Again, we're hoping that it's heel and forefoot Drive foam, because that would just be one hell of a ride. But if it is the same exact setup as the WOW 6, we're not going to complain, because that setup in itself was awesome. The traction looks a little sketchy. The Wade brand has been a hit or miss with the traction. The Wade 6, I feel, was one of the best ones, along with the Wade 4. I'm hoping that this one beats both of them, but it is one of the things that they kind of take a risk on each time that they create a shoe. From a personal standpoint, I wish that that's the one thing that they would not take a risk on. I wish that they would just give us proper traction just to be safe, you know what I mean? But like I said, these guys are pushing things, so I mean, in that sense, it's okay, I guess, as long as it works. Now, the upper is the main thing that I'm really kind of intrigued about, and it's also the thing that kind of gives you that jarring look because of the bold tones. You have that leather overlay, at least it looks like leather, right there at the toe, and then the internal structure of the shoe looks like a textile. So again, it kind of mixes the old with the new, and the thing that I like is that the textile doesn't look flimsy. It doesn't look like a thin knit or anything like that. It actually looks like it's substantial, like it has some sort of structure to it, and with that, you should receive a textile that actually mimics the capabilities or properties of a leather, but still feels like a knit or a textile. So kind of soft, easily breaks in, lightweight, but still supportive. At least that's the hope. And I've got to say, they look really, really clean on feet as well, although that is Dwayne's feet, so I mean, on my feet it could look a little bit different. But overall, I'm just really excited for these. The WOW 6 was one of the best shoes last year, in my opinion, and that is the first time that a Wade shoe has kind of been that good, other than the 4. So if these guys can just kind of continue in that trend of giving us great performance plus a quality build of a shoe, then I think that these are going to be dope. Now what we're going to do is take things over to WearTesters.com, see what our readers think. So let's get right into it. TJT says, I'm so excited for these. Toe cap style b-ball shoes usually win me over in the looks department. Jordan 11, Air Jordan 2010, Harden Volume 1, etc. I agree agree completely. I'm very excited for these. I do think that they look great. I don't think that they look quite like the 11, although I do see what you're saying. The Jordan 2010 and the Harden Volume 1, however, definitely along those lines. And it looks like that this toe cap is independent, much like it was on the Air Jordan 2010. And if that's the case, I think that this is gonna be really awesome. Preacher says, I hope they leave the cushion the same. If so, they will be a top shoe of the year if they fix the traction. So that's exactly what we were talking about before. The traction is the one thing that the Wade brand seems to always kind of take a risk on. And it's the one thing that no company, or shoe company at least, should take a risk on, because traction is one of those things that's kind of been proven already. You know what I mean? Like we've seen great traction on shoes before, so just do that. JMD says, I really like how these look. Hopefully the cushion is full length dry foam. The whole shoe looks a bit chunky, thick, and a bit stiff. That's what she said, but supportive. I definitely agree with you on the thick and chunky bit, although I do think that that might have something to do with the actual color blocking of the shoe. The midsole and the upper kind of like blend into one piece, so it definitely makes things look a little bit thicker than they might actually be. But as long as they are using those proper foams that we were talking about, then I don't think that they're gonna feel chunky. They might look chunky, but they most likely will not play that way. Toma says, I'm all in on these. Sunlight Station, here I come. We're right there with you, man. I cannot wait to play in these. These just look awesome. They just, like I said, they look so different. I'm just really excited just for that. Just to like wear something on court and people be like, what is that? That's probably my favorite part about testing shoes, besides just testing them in themselves, because that's fun also. But when I'm in the gym, especially at 24, because a lot of those guys there are not like sneaker people, you know what I mean? Like they're not sneaker nerds like we are here on our space, whether it be the website side or the YouTube side. Those guys are just like, they're just hoopers, you know what I mean? Like they just go in there, they get whatever's cheap or whatever they think is hot, and then they play in it and they like beat the hell out of them and all that stuff. So that's one of the things that I like the most about testing these shoes, is when I wear a Chinese shoe, whether it be like Clay's new shoe or Rondo's new shoe, those Antanasa shoes, stuff like that, like everybody in the gym is always like, yo, like what is that? Those are super fresh or whatever it is. And I hoop in Sacramento 24s. So those guys definitely know what they like, and a lot of times it's Jordan or Nike. And so for them to see like a Chinese branded shoe and be like, that's awesome right there, I think that that's really cool, and it definitely tells you that consumers are interested in something else. Rusky says, I liked the 6, but these are ugly in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong, but materials look cheap and stiff. Personally, I disagree with you on the material aspect, but as far as their aesthetics go, I'm not gonna disagree or try and sway your opinion, because that is how you feel. Everybody is, you know, got their own opinion and feelings on looks and aesthetics. But I do agree with you on the WOW 6. Those are just beautiful. They're not only beautiful, but they played really well, man. That is their best shoe so far, and I hope that these top that, at least in performance. I don't think that the looks do. Greek Sneak Collector says, it's like a premium version of the Harden Volume 1s, but with the outsole of the Air Jordan 28. Well, the Harden Volume 1 was premium, like at least the leather was. So in that sense, it should be very much the same. It looks like the same setup, where you got kind of that structured textile in the back and then that leather overlay in the front. So it looks, to me, it looks identical as far as like the setup goes, not visually. But I do kind of agree with you on the 28. I actually didn't notice that until you mentioned it. The tooling definitely looks like it could be decoupled. You have the heel and the forefoot, and then the bridge between that gap is the carpet fiber shank. So it's definitely possible. Whether or not they'll feel like the Air Jordan 28, that's another story. And that pretty much takes care of it for everybody over at WearTesters.com. That also takes care of it for my thoughts on the Wade 7. I just think that they're gonna be awesome. At least I'm really hoping that they're awesome, because the WOW 6 was great, and I'm hoping that these are greater. And now it's time for you guys to leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let us know what you guys think about these, both aesthetically as well as what do you think is gonna be in the shoe. Do you think it's gonna be dry foam? Maybe something different? What's the retail price gonna be at? Speculate all you'd like down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all your support. Congrats again to Dwayne Wade on the lifetime contract. That's a really great achievement. And until next time, guys, have a good one.